Can you hear me back there? Perfect. My name is Alon. I'm the CEO of Blox. I've been in the industry for just over 6 years now. I'm a developer. This is how I got my start in the blockchain industry. So first of all, it's amazing to see how many people come to those events. I can assure you it wasn't the case 2-3 years ago. Today I want to present you Blox, my company. Not like that, obviously. Perfect. I want to present you Blox, my company. We developed the most advanced portfolio tracking, crypto portfolio tracking platform for the blockchain space. It's one of the most incredible opportunities I see and we see as a company in 2018, 2019. We have 25 people working in 3 offices around the world. Israel is our R&D center, Shanghai, China, and Gibraltar. We just launched our flagship product, which I'll showcase you today, and we're very excited to present it to you. One of the most amazing kind of context or the way you can present a product is by looking at the market itself. Up until 2016, at the end of 2016, I think the whole industry was around infrastructure. A lot of the research for scalability and authentication and all of those great things we need in order to create an industry where the basic ideas were developed up until 2016. Obviously, we'll see them implemented next. But 2017, after that, was all about scale, right? It was the most amazing year for crypto assets. We grew from an industry, a very small industry, to a huge industry. At the peak, $800 billion. Today, around $500 billion. All with that, also the trading volume went up significantly. It's one of the most important indicators. First of all, it shows how healthy the industry is, but also gives signals to other big players to come into market because they know it's liquid, which is incredibly important. We saw a huge soar in the amount of companies getting created and starting solving problems. A lot of them did ICOs. At the peak, it was around 100 ICOs a week, which created a lot of assets. The market is much more diversified than it used to be. And our personal belief is in the next year or two, we'll see between 50 and 80 million new users coming into market, acquiring their first crypto asset, and starting obviously managing it, which is bring us to a huge opportunity that we want to get into. The amount of assets is incredible. People are getting extremely excited, but also it becomes much harder to start following the market, right? There's so many assets. It's really hard to distinguish what is what. And that's only the market. If you're starting acquiring your first crypto assets and start diversifying your portfolio, it becomes even harder to track your own portfolio. Which is a shame because although it's a huge opportunity, it will become a very big challenge if we do not solve it as an industry. There's a lot of those consumer kind of facing products we need to solve and get really good platforms for in order to make it much more accessible for everyone else. So the basic idea of what a portfolio tracking tool does is 3 things generally. First of all, it allows you to keep track of the market caps, trading volume, prices, obviously, all of the things. You and I probably check our phone every 3 minutes to see what's changed. The second thing, obviously, is to keep track of my own portfolio. If I'm invested in it, I want to make sure that, first of all, I see where my assets are, what they did in the past, what they're doing currently, and hopefully get some insight, which is the third thing. Get some insight into what I did in the past and what I'm doing now. And we at Blox really like to think about it as kind of the banking portal for the crypto space, for the crypto revolution. It's a unified platform where you can connect your various wallets, exchange accounts, and get just the right insight, which is incredibly important. The amount of user engagement such apps get is incredible. Who is checking more than 5 times a day the price of crypto assets? I know I do. Most of you as well. And so you know how much traction those apps are getting. This is why it's one of the biggest opportunities in 2018, 2019. But the problem is we just don't have the right tools. How many of you are using a dedicated crypto kind of tracking platform? How many of you are just using an Excel sheet or a piece of paper? right? And so you know what I'm talking about. There's no good solutions out there. And the reason why I say that, and I want to make it very, very clear, when I say a good and sufficient solution, I'm talking about a few things I'm sure you'll agree with me. First of all, I want to have cross-device support. I want to be able to follow on my mobile. I want to be able to follow on my web, on my computer. I want to have a single sign-on user which backs up all my information and syncs everything across my various devices. And as I go along those kind of properties, you guys are already realizing that the current portfolio tracking you're using are probably not answering those kind of needs. I want to be able to create several different portfolios, which means that I can take all of my assets, divide them logically the way I want it. So for example, I've invested for friends. I want to have a portfolio dedicated to long-term investments. I want to have a smaller portfolio just for fun, ICOs, short-term investments, and so on. I want to have that flexibility. The big thing by far is being able to sync my wallets and exchange accounts automatically to that platform. I don't want to start editing everything manually. It becomes a part-time job. It's not accurate. And so this is by far the biggest kind of thing we're seeing lacking in the market. And I brought you some of the leading kind of portfolio tracking tools out there. And as you can see, none of them is doing everything right. Some of them are doing some things. The problem is once you subtract one of those elements, it becomes much less usable. And so this is what we wanted to present you today. We just launched our flagship product, which is named Blox. I want to present it to you today. Hopefully, you guys can become our users. It's completely free, so you're very welcome to check it out. And so I'm showing you today the web version of Blox. Obviously, you have the same exact thing on your mobile. Everything syncs automatically across devices. And so I'll start from the top right. As we said before, a single sign-on user, you can easily log in, everything syncs across all your devices and backs up your information. So if your phone or your computer is lost or got stolen, whatever, everything is still kept there. You do not lose your history. And just think about how much is that important coming in towards the end of the year. I need to do some reporting. I need to show and check whatever I did the previous year. Incredibly important. I don't want to lose the data. Obviously, I can switch between the different underlying currencies I want to represent my portfolio. And obviously, I want to have the ability to switch and create additional portfolios, which is incredibly important, gives me the flexibility I want. I can see obviously my total amount of assets. And in the center, you see the beautiful graph, which is incredibly useful. The reason why I can see the history, I can see the various actions I did. So for example, I don't know if you see the two lines, I'll try to zoom in, obviously. The two lines represent actions I did along the way. So buy, sell, withdraw, deposit, all of those things are represented on my graph so I can easily access the data from my historical kind of trading and transaction log. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can choose various time frames. It's incredibly important and incredibly makes everything much more accessible. Obviously, I can scroll down and see the various assets I'm holding, the amount of units I'm holding from each asset. I can check the price, market cap, volume, all of this information we want to get on the fly. But one of the things is, and this is by far the biggest one, all the information you see here is automatically synced, which means that I do not need to enter anything manually. Everything is pulled from the various exchanges, the various blockchains. Currently, we support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Neo is coming up, Litecoin is coming up, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic. Exchanges, we support Poloniex, Binance, Bittrex, ETBTC is rolling out, Kraken is rolling out, so you get the picture. We're going towards a day where you do not need to edit anything manually, which gives you a complete picture of whatever you're doing. And we haven't talked about more advanced stuff, for example, reporting, right? Taxation, sharing that information. A reason why I'm saying that is because what you're seeing now is our consumer-facing product, but company has the exact same problem and even worse so. Just imagine how companies, and a lot of them coming into the crypto space, how they're managing their crypto assets. One of the biggest side effects of connecting directly your wallets is security. Because if you edit everything manually, your wallet can be compromised and you still have that 100 Bitcoin showing on the device, although those 100 Bitcoins are long gone. And so here, everything is syncs up every 3 to 5 minutes. You can make sure that everything is still there. It's incredibly important. And so this is kind of a really quick run through for the Blox app. Again, you can go to blox.io, download the app for your mobile, use our web interface. We love your comments. This is very much community-driven development. It's kind of, it began as a buzzword, but trust me, it's one of the best methods of development because the community is driving whatever it's important to it, the next features, the next bugs, and so we have a very active community, and a lot of it, a lot of the comments and a lot of the feedback coming from that. And so, just kind of to summarize, we do automatic syncing for your wallets and exchanges, multiple portfolios, syncing across all devices, single sign-on user, by far the best and most advanced crypto tracking platform out there. We have incredible partners. Two of them actually presented already, eToro and Coincilium. Both of them are our investors. And so, first of all, thank them for an amazing event, but also for incredible help along the way and guidance, and obviously an amazing team, 25 people that dedicate their time in order to develop the platform and the company. And that's it. Thank you very much. Go to Blox.io and download the app. Thank you.